Hey, we're live, guys. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is the Bearded Thrift Machine, Julian. How you doing, man?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. It's the weekend, right? Did you get to go out and go sourcing a little bit? How are things going?
I did. Saturday, I went yard selling. I did pretty good. Not like one of my hugest hits, but it was a good haul. And today, just been listing and testing electronics literally all day long.
Okay, cool. I want to say hi to some people in the chat. I want to say hi to the Nurse Flippers here hanging out with us, Butterfly Hustles. So Julian, what's been happening, man? I saw your haul on Instagram. You got some video games. Tell everybody what you got over the weekend.
Friday, I can't remember if I did. Friday, I got a whole bunch of stuff, or was it Thursday? But Saturday, I got like a couple Wii consoles, 3 Wii consoles, Xbox. My biggest thing was probably a tennis racket that goes for a lot of money. And I got some vintage, not Harley clothing, but some vintage like biker T-shirts. I got 2 vintage Tommy Hilfiger, like the ones with the flags on them, like one of their big flag logos, which is good, an American flag logo, which is good, and some video games, and a camera and a whole bunch of lenses and some other stuff, just some smaller items.
Hey, what's up, Carolina Hustler? How you doing, man? So if you just for people that are tuning in, do you want to introduce yourself in case we have somebody watching the replay? They don't know who you are or where you're from.
Absolutely. My name is Julian, also known as the Bearded Thrift Machine on YouTube. I'm from South Carolina, and I am a full-time reseller, and I live in the Myrtle Beach area. And I quit my job. It's going on actually 1 whole year of full-time reselling in a couple of days, really.
Awesome. So pretty soon it's going to be you're essentially a full-time reseller now, yeah. And you were a former police officer, right?
That's correct. Yep. I was a police officer for 10 whole years of my life. I started when I was like 21 or 22, right out of college.
Okay, cool. So now can you give us some advice to people, some people's in the chat or someone's watching the replay and maybe they're a part-time reseller and they want to become full-time? Do you have any top 2 or 3 tips off the top of your head you could give us?
Yeah, one, definitely if you want to like have that switch, I would definitely know your bills throughout, and limit your debt. Because reselling I'm pretty consistent on sales, but some days, I'll have like a lower day, then one day it will be really high. And that can lead to like a little bit of stress there. If you break into from part-time to full-time and you don't have like, number one, a safety net, some money saved up. People say 6 months. So my first tip would be save up more than 6 months of, bills. I would say like almost 8 months to a year of bills. And that's not including money for your business. That's just like straight bills, like mortgage. That is your essentials. You need to save up a lot of money. And then you need to also have like buying power. So make sure when you go full time, if something comes up that's $1,000 or $1,500, that you can go buy a huge lot of things, be able to do that. Because I've noticed when you're full time, scaling is super important. Like you have to scale to make sales every day. Like, if I have a good day of sales of 20 items, I better list 40 the next day so my store is always growing. So one, make sure you know your bills and make sure your debt's pretty low because you're going to, sales can fluctuate like me and you were just talking about. And 2, make sure that you have some sort of safety net there where you can pay your bills if sales get super, super slow for, 3 weeks or your store gets suspended on eBay for a small Vero or whatever, like we were just talking about. You better have these things in order before you go full time so you don't really put yourself in a bind because that can happen pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. I had actually been working in the past year on trying to reduce some of my monthly expenses. And It's some things that you don't really think about. You got to sit down and look at it. I know I don't have a personal finance channel, but it's something that definitely goes hand in hand. You want to look into just little things that maybe you overlook. Like, for example, last year I was paying $200 a month cell phone bill with Sprint. Well, I switched to T-Mobile and now my cell phone bill is like $50 a month. I was paying, $1,100 a month in rent. Now my rent's $350. So if there's anything that you can do to reduce your monthly expenses, you have more money that you can go out and buy more inventory. And it's really important to reinvest back in your business. That's really important as well. So Absolutely. Here we go. We got a question from Nurse Flipper. She says, when are you going to buy some furniture, Julian? This is an important reseller question here.
Soon, real soon, I'll get on that furniture thing. I haven't yet. I haven't had. That's just a whole bunch of excuses I'm bringing up. I just haven't done it. No excuses. I just have not done it. Soon, I will find me an Ethan. You know, the worst thing is in my area, there has been some decent Ethan Allen pieces come up for sale, and I slept on them for like 12 hours, and somebody has picked them up. So I have to be more on the ball if I want to sell furniture. Like I have to go right away.
So I've been watching some of your what sold videos. Can you tell people how has your sales been lately? We're going into Q4. We're going into the Christmas season. How has your sales been?
Right now, I actually have it pulled up. So I was just looking at it. I'm up 24.8%. The last 31 days has been my highest ever. Like
Wow.
I'm reaching, like my gross sales are around 11,000, and they've been very consistent over like 250 to 400. I don't have huge days. Like I've never spiked to $1,000 day or anything. I stay between 250 and 400 in the last. It's been a little bit, probably the last 2 weeks. I've been in that range. And I've been selling a whole bunch of different stuff. Like it was golf clubs carried me for the last for a while, and it's really now it's been a lot of clothing, jackets, electronics, and I'm just looking at everything that's sold because I have it sitting next to me, and Christmas decorations, things I picked up a while ago are starting to sell.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say if you guys don't follow the Julian, the Bearded Thrift Machine, I have his Instagram in the description below, and I'm also gonna link his YouTube channel down below. But we're gonna try to get him to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas time. That'd be a great Christmas present. So if you guys get a chance, if you're not already subscribed, go subscribe to the Bearded Thrift Machine. I saw your post. I think it might have been a week or so ago on Instagram, and I think you had just recently hit like $10,000 in sales over a month period of time. Is that correct?
I did. I think I posted when I did 30,000 in 90 days. So it would be, $10,000 a month. This month has been higher than my last two. So that's good. It's like I said, I'm up 24%, which I was down like a month ago. I would start to fall down because I was getting a little bit lazy. I wasn't listing enough, but I had the stuff to list. And this month I've been super motivated and just been listing a ton every day. And just going at it. And it's been paying off. eBay's been it's been ramping up pretty good.
Yeah, the Nurse Flipper says, we got this. He'll hit 1K by 2021. Yeah, I would like it to be by Christmas. So if you guys aren't subscribed, let it be a great Christmas present. Let's get Julian up to 1,000 subscribers. So tell me some tips. If I'm a reseller, let's say I'm doing $1,000 or $2,000 a month in sales, how do I go from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month? How do I get to that $30,000 a month in 90 days? Tell me, give me the backstory. How do I do this?
What I've seen most is that do your research before you buy the product. Like make sure it's in demand. Like of course some of mine are super long tail, but if you're trying to get like fast sales, make sure that they're in demand products. Like if I'm looking on eBay, I'm making sure that their sell-through rate is decent and I'm getting it for a decent price. So that will boost it up a whole bunch. That's really it. Oh, and you have to reinvest. Like if you're making $2,000 or whatever, you've got to throw a lot of money back into your business to grow that. Just think eBay, what I've seen, I'm not like an expert, but I've seen that eBay likes a lot of activity. I can tell like a long week of listing because I'm getting a lot of sales. So if you sell 10 and you want to grow, you better be listing 15 or 20 that same day or the next day. So if you want to, like I said, you got to definitely have high in demand items. Now they don't have to sell like every day. You can't, list it, then it sells like in 3 hours. That's kind of an anomaly. This thing just did that. Just sold within 3 hours, but it was like super in demand. I don't have a lot of those items, but they usually sell within a week or two. That's pretty good. So make sure your items are in demand. And like I said, you got to reinvest. Don't think that you can just kind of skate through, like list a whole bunch maybe 1 week and not list the next week. I would think that you would see a decline in sales.
Okay, yeah, you got to be consistent and you got to reinvest and give me some of your sourcing tactics and strategies. I saw you've been hitting some yard sales. Oh yeah, I saw that video the other day you did, and you like, hey, I bought these DVDs for 50 cents at the Goodwill. I'm like, there you go. It was brand new in the shrink wrap, and like you said, they're not making them anymore, so they're going to sell. So even if you only sell them for 10, 15, 20 bucks, you only got 50 cents invested. I mean, 50 cents into $10 is still a 20x on your money. That's before they take out your eBay fees and PayPal fees. So talk a little bit about your techniques for your strategy as far as sourcing and getting merchandise.
Actually, it's funny because I started hitting the DVD rack because I watched you, and you're like, man, go in there and just scan the new and stuff. So I did, and that's how I found those, and they were having a sale on DVD stuff. But I basically, I'm like an array of things. I check everything to find sourcing. I do online auctions. I do Goodwill, like shopgoodwill.com. I do, if I find a good storage unit, I will buy a storage unit. I literally buy anything that I can flip. I'm not scared to buy a whole bunch of stuff that, that's trash and I have to go through it. That's fine. I go thrift stores, yard sales, and each one has their ups and downs. I did really good on my storage unit. I'm pretty sure I was just lucky on that one. And but I will literally source every different way. I'm always looking on Facebook Marketplace because I'm full time. You just can't. I found that you can't really just source one way because if you're constantly going to the thrift store, it's a lot of wasted time. Not a wasted time. It's hard to keep up. You can do it. It's just hard to keep up going there every day because it's hard to find 20 to 30 items to sell every day in a thrift store because you hit there every day. So definitely, you have to be kind of diverse in your sourcing. So I will buy anything that I think I can sell in a whole bunch of different avenues. So I'm not very discriminatory when it comes to sourcing.
Yeah. Some of the yard sales in Florida where I'm at, it's warm year round, but it's about to be wintertime. And in the wintertime, there's not a lot of yard sales to be had in the middle of winter. So you want to diversify. I have been recently, I've been ordering items in bulk and have them mailed to my house. So like, for example, the other day, I just bought like 300 DVDs that are new in the shrink wrap that paid 54 cents a piece for them. And that includes shipping, have them shipped to my house. So if I can sell them for, let's say, $10 a piece times 200, now we got $2,000 worth of merchandise, and I've got maybe $150 tied up into it. So whatever, so now if you can turn $150 into 2,000, now you're in business. So that's kind of what I've been doing to try to help scale my store. I'm really close to 4,600 on my main eBay store right now. So if you can kind of a shortcut that cuts out a lot of time of running around. I don't mind going to thrift stores, but it's like sometimes I go in there and I only find 3, 4, 5 items, and then you go hit up the next one. So instead of trying to fight the crowds and look for a parking spot and wait in line to check out, I just have it mailed to my house, and then I just open them up, scan the barcodes, and ship, list them and all that. So can you talk a little bit about what is your schedule? What is your routine as far as sourcing, listing, shipping? Yeah, let's get into it. Tell me your whole routine of how your day goes of a full-time reseller. Tell us the whole story.
Each day is slightly different, but slightly the same. Like I wake up really early. I'll get some listing done prior to going to the post office because I drop my stuff off at like 9:15, 9:30 in the morning at the post office. And I usually will list that. That's usually the consistency is that I always list between those times. If I wake up at 6, I have about 2 hours of listing, and I can knock out a whole bunch if I prepped the night before. And then after that, if it's a sourcing day, I'll go hit a couple thrift stores or Facebook Marketplace deals or whatnot. If not, I come back and list until whenever I'm done. Sometimes I have goals. Sometimes I list until I literally can't look at my phone anymore. So that could be 6 hours. It could be 3 hours. It all depends on when I'm done listing. So I've been able to list 30 to 40 a day is pretty good. Some days are 20. If I'm I'm done with it. But you gotta always think that you have to prep the stuff the night before. So after I'm done listing, that might take me up until 2 or 3. Then I have to prep everything I'm going to list the next day that night. So sometimes that takes a long time with cleaning, testing, researching. It takes a while. And then that doesn't throw into YouTube, doing videos, editing, all that comes into play around 4 o'clock. And throughout the day, I'm on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram. So that's throughout the entire day.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, what I try to do is I try to pull all my orders of everything I sold the night before. So that way I'm not out in the heat running around looking for all the items. I just have everything ready to go and have everything boxed up and ready to be shipped out the next day. And I'm a night person, so I'm usually up in the middle of the night listing items because no one's calls you, no one's texting you, no one needs anything. I just can shut the door and it could be midnight and I could just be sitting there listing items. We got a question here. It says, from Butterfly Hustle says, Julian, what is your most profitable sell for your first year of reselling? They want to know what your most profitable item is.
A category would be one item would have definitely, I haven't had a huge flip yet. One item was a hair laser restoration thing. I bought it for I think like $5. It sold for over 300. That was a fluke. But if I want to put into a category, I would have two. I would have sporting goods, mostly golf clubs, have made me a lot of money, and tools. Tools have made me also probably equally as amount of money as golf clubs.
Okay, awesome. Hey, if you guys are in the chat, hit the like button for Julian, and also go subscribe to his channel. We're going to try to get him to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal.
Thank you.
So tell me, Julian, what's the game plan here? What is your goal? You're already at $10,000 a month in sales. Hey, what's up, Drew from Profit Monsters? What's up, man? Drew? So what is your goal in your reselling game? Are you going to try to expand? Because you already said you've been doing about $10,000 a month in sales as a full-time reseller. Like, what is your goal for next year, 2021? Are you going to try to expand, your reselling business? Like, are you going to try to other platforms? Are you going to try to increase your sales? What have you been thinking about? Like, what have you been working on?
For eBay, I would like to get up to like $15,000 gross sales a month on eBay. That would be good. I would like to. I'm not even on like Poshmark or Mercari. I plan to actually get on that like this week. Maybe do a whole bunch of cross posting and doing it somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to figure that out. Get on those two platforms so I can have some couple other streams of income coming in there. And then for 2021, I would like to start getting on, maybe looking at Amazon just to figure that out. And, maybe dabble in Amazon a little bit, but my eBay's been pretty good. But I would like to, like, my goal was 15,000 a month on eBay, and I'm only like $4,000 away from that. That's still a lot, but I think that I can reach it in 2021 because I started 2020 with like only 200 items in my store. So I think that I'll be able to ramp up to that probably next year.
Right. Well, where are you at right now? How many items do you currently have in your store?
I'm 1553.
Awesome. We got a question in the chat from American Made. He says, Julian, how do you go about pricing golf clubs? And which brands are more valuable as far as selling golf clubs? Right here in the chat.
Yeah, how I price them is all sold comps. If you look on a golf club like this one right here, I actually pulled the ones I sold. They're going to have, I don't think you can see that, but they're going to have a name on it, and they're going to have like what they are, what iron it is, and I comp all those things out on eBay before I price them. It's very seldom that I get one that hasn't sold on eBay in the last 30 days or something. And I stay with the big ones. I don't know golf clubs that well. I just have a lot of golf clubs in my area for sale. So I stick with the big brand names: Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade, Cleveland. And when I see one of those, I usually will comp it out in the store like all the time. So that's really how I price them, is I comp them out. But I know that Casey's super good with golf clubs, so he can tell you like a really good golf club that's like an off-brand. I can't tell you that because I have no idea. I can tell you that I stick with Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade's in Cleveland, and that one I just showed you, it was an Adams Golf or Adams Iron or something. So I stick with like 5 major brands. That's my girlfriend. Thank you, Kayla.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say hi. Hey, Southern Pearl Thrift. I just wanted to say hi and say hi to Butterfly Hustles. We got Drew from Profit Monsters in the chat, Nurse Flipper, and Bearded Veteran. So thank you guys for hanging out today. So, Julian, I wanted to get in a little bit of your backstory. We talked a little bit about it last time you were here, but I just think it's interesting to me how you were working on the police force for 10 years. How did you go from having a full-time job? Because there's other people watching that have a full-time job that may be considering leaving their job and being a full-time reseller. Tell me about how your background of being a police officer, how long you worked there, and what got to the point made you want to quit your job, and how you transitioned from working a full-time job to being a full-time reseller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was cop for 10 years, like on the dot. I think I left when I had 10 years and 1 day in, and I had 18 more years before I could like retire. And I knew that I wasn't going to last 18 more years in that career field. I was done. I had a good 10 years, but it was over. So basically, I knew that like a year before leaving. It wasn't like I walked in one day and was like, "Hey guys, I'm leaving." So a year prior, I started to get rid of all my debt. Sold everything that really was not a necessity other than my house. I bought, a car that's older and it's paid off, so no bills on that. And then I got into flipping because of my girlfriend there. She actually was like, "Hey, you can make money in Goodwill." And so I started to, and I was like, I bet you I could scale this and go full time. And I did it for only like 2 months. And I was like, I got this. I just got to work hard at it. I can make, a ton of money. But I did have a safety net. Like I said, you don't have to, but it's a good idea to save up like a good bit amount of money, 8 months to a year of your mortgage and all your non-negotiable bills. Like, your mortgage is going to be due, your electric, all that stuff. I would have saved up at least eight months to a year, because then it gives you time to grow your eBay business without any real stress, because you already have your bills paid for 8 months to a year. So I knew that was going to happen one day, that I was going to leave my work. A year ago, I didn't know I was going to be selling on eBay. I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I was going to leave. So I started like downsizing and selling everything and getting out of debt. And then I always liked to buy and sell things. I just never did it to really make money. I just kind of did it for fun. And then when the time came, I just knew I was done at work. And then I was able to do it because I had money saved up. I had my bills paid, and then I just quit.
Awesome. So did you have any like second thoughts when you were going to leave your job? I know you said that your dog, you had a service dog that had retired, and you retired around the same time that service dog did, not like retired to basically quit your job. But did you have any like second thoughts? Were you kind of concerned and worried, like, man, I don't know if this is a good idea? Or were you just like, I'm just going to jump out of the airplane and try to figure out how to open this parachute up on the way down? Like, what were your thoughts in doing that?
Yeah, to be honest, like I had a plan. Like I said, I had like money saved up and stuff like that. But other than that, it was definitely like jumping out of the airplane and just like, I hope the parachute like opens type of deal. Because right. That's the best way to explain it. Is I was like, I know that I'm done with that one career field. I'm not going back. And I just was like, I got to make this work. So it was one of those things that I had to just continually work. It's not one of those things that you can sit on the couch and watch TV for a couple hours and lose that precious time. Like when I was at work before, I would look at the clock and be like, wow, I've only been here for 2 hours. Now I like look at the clock. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's already like 8 o'clock at night. I have so much more to do. So like, there's always like, this matches me perfectly because there's always stuff to do in reselling. Like I have 1,000 things that I can get done. So it's like you constantly got to be working and getting things done. But it's definitely not a like passive way to make money. Like this is a hustle. Like every aspect of this is definitely a hustle.
Okay, now since you're at your goal right now, you said you did about $30,000 in sales in the past 90 days. How many items a day do you list? Do you have a goal that you set for yourself and say, okay, I need to get 40, 50 items listed a day? Like, do you give yourself a goal? And then like, how do you go about doing your listings? Like I said, I do all mine at night. Like I said, I go in the room, I shut the door, no one knocks on the door and bothers me, and I just turn my music on, get into my zone, and just start listing items. What is your plan or strategy as far as listing goes? Because that's like the main thing. Obviously, you're not going to make sales if you don't have the items listed. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I like to list in the morning, but I've noticed that so far, like I said, I'll list from around 6 a.m. to around 9 o'clock. And I list as much as I can. And then I list, like I can actually go through 3 waves of listing throughout the day. I know I'm listing in the morning, and then I usually list in the afternoon. And then if I have like a quick list, like say I went to the thrift store and picked up something fast to list, I'll list that at night. My goal each day is probably, I would say 40. Like 40 is a good number for me to list per day. And that's like 5 days a week. Saturdays, I'll take it slow, but I still list. I might list like 1 or 2 or up to 10. And then Sundays, I usually only will list 1 or 2 to keep something active. But I don't really work a lot on Sundays other than today. I did do some stuff. But yeah, like Monday through Friday, 40 is always my goal. Do I always reach it? No. Do I ever get like 10? No. Like I don't. Like a Tuesday, I never list only 10 items. It's always above 20 or 30.
Yep. So you guys heard it. It's not just me telling you guys to list every day. You heard it right here from Bearded Thrift Machine. He's a full-time reseller, and he's telling you himself, if you want to make $10,000 a month in sales, you need to be hustling and getting the items listed every day. That's how you're going to make sales, is by getting the items listed. Also, the computer algorithm knows when you're listing. Like it knows when you're naughty or nice. It knows if you're listing items, or it knows if you're goofing off. I just wanted to say hi to Girl Hustle in the chat, and Butterfly Hustles is here. And so if you guys have questions for the guest, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So now you told me you're going to consider looking at Amazon as well. Maybe what are some of the main items that you like to sell on eBay? So if you're outsourcing, you're at a garage sale or an estate sale, or you're at a thrift store, what are some of the items that you're specifically looking for? You said that you sold a lot of golf clubs, but is there any niches specifically that you're looking for?
When I started, I started in clothing just because it was the easiest, and there was such a vast amount in my area. You know, like every thrift store has a ton of clothing. And then I got into golf clubs because I live in a heavily golfed area. There's a ton of courses around here, and people move in and they sell their old stuff and buy new stuff, and they even sell their new stuff. And so I don't really have. I know like a lot of people say have a niche and run with it. I would say mine is going to be tools, or I wouldn't even say, I mean, I don't know much about golf clubs, but I sell them just because I can get them so readily. So I really don't have a certain niche that I'm always looking for. But I do know tools the best. I do know, if I'm at a garage sale, like the other day, I picked up a threader, like a pipe threader. And I guarantee you a ton of people walk by that just because they didn't know what it was. It's just a really random looking tool that's worth like $150. So
yeah, I saw that video. You paid like $40 for it. You said it sells on eBay for like 150. Did you sell it yet or no?
No, I haven't even. That one's in my list pile. I have to clean when you get stuff like that. You got to clean the threads out. So it's only going to take me like a couple minutes to clean those threads. But that's only those are kind of like long tail items. That'll probably take like maybe 4 to 5 months to sell because a person they're not used a lot. But they will sell. There's I think there's like 6 listed, and I think there's 6 sold or 5 sold or something like that. So they do have a decent sell-through rate. I think it'll take a little while, but that should be listed by tomorrow. I'll have that one up.
Okay, cool.
Tools I can like if there's tools at a yard sale, I can usually pick them pretty quickly.
Okay, cool, Julian. I had a question for you. Have you done any retail arbitrage? Have you went to like Walmart clearance or Lowe's or Home Depot clearance section and done any retail arbitrage lately?
I have. I have that. Oh, I did used to have the app, or I still have it. I just haven't used it in like a couple weeks. Is it called Brick Seek?
Yeah.
I did use that, and they do have some sales in my area. I'll tell you what though. I don't know if it. There's probably a lot of people that have that. I think you have to be really on the ball with that stuff or be willing to travel a lot because there's like 4 Walmarts in my immediate area. And I did do retail arbitrage on some like breast pumps. And they like went super fast. There was only one I found. I did make like $40 on it. But the rest of the stuff, there was some good fishing gear that went super cheap on that website. And I went to a whole bunch of, Walmarts that said they were in stock. They were already sold out. I asked the manager if there's anything in the back. They said no. So I'm not really good at retail arbitrage, but I could be if I like allotted time for it. But I think that is a decent way to find it is that app or that website, whatever it is.
Right. Okay. Now, going into Q4, can you talk a little bit about what your strategy is going into Q4 right now? Like, are you listing more items? Are you sourcing more? Like, what? This is when a lot of resellers make their money is around Christmas time. So, do you have any certain strategies or anything you're doing different right now?
Yeah, I'm doing it all. Like, I am buying a whole bunch. I am listing a whole bunch, and I hope to sell a whole bunch. Like, I will kick this into full gear coming up here in the next week where I will go source a ton and then I will list a ton. I'll go source in the morning and then I'll list everything. So I'm gonna kick it into high gear and work all the way up until Christmas and even up until January, like super long days. Just because, like you said, this is where I don't want to pass this opportunity where I can make some money. So I don't mind working, 2 months super, super hard. And maybe in January, I'll take like a trip or something. Maybe I'll take it easy.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I know you said you were going to look at Amazon and look at some other platforms. With Poshmark, they have this thing where you have to share a lot. What you may consider, you can try it out or think about it. You may consider maybe next year in 2021, maybe having a second eBay store. Like I have 2 eBay stores. My main eBay store, I mainly sell CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, video games, VHS tapes. And then I have a second eBay store where I just sell all miscellaneous stuff. Let's say if I'm at it's just something to think about because I have 2 eBay stores and I usually make sales almost every day on both of the eBay stores because you got to think if you're going to the post office and you're shipping out every day anyways, you're already familiar with the platform. I mean, you could try Macari, you could try Poshmark. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm just not one of the people who want to go spend 3 times a day sharing my closet on Poshmark. Now, there's some people that do well at it. That's just not for me. So we got a question in the chat here from Bearded Veteran. He says, how are you able to make so much money a month with so few items listed? Do you have replenishable items or do you stick to higher price items?
No, I don't have any replenishables. That's also like a goal is to learn how to do that. Like, to figure out how to get replenishables or make any contacts. I really don't. I really don't stick with really high priced items. I just sell a lot of stuff, and I list a lot, and I'm in a good area because I watched some people's other videos, and the other day I picked up a lot of Harley gear because I'm in a bike area, so that's always good. And I just find some decent stuff, every day that I go out and source, but I list a lot too, and I buy a lot. I didn't realize how much when I started this, how much you have to buy to sell. I know that sounds like stupid, but I didn't realize that if you sell 10, you better be listing 20, but you probably bought 30 that day. And you only got to list in 20. So it's a lot. But I don't really know. I think that I'm just really consistent on eBay and that algorithm just likes that constant, 30 to 40 listed a day, always active. I'm always sending offers to people. If an offer pops up, I always send them a really decent offer because I get myself for pretty cheap. I live in South Carolina, so the cost of living here is low, and so is our Goodwill prices and stuff. And he said, so they sell quick. Yeah, like the other day, if you watch my haul video on YouTube where I was going through a whole bunch of my Harley gear that I got and some other stuff, I would say half of that stuff is already sold. Like I'm looking at some of the stuff right here that sold today, and it's a good bit of that stuff. So my stuff has been selling very quickly. Now I have some old stuff that hasn't sold in a year, but the stuff that I've been posting lately has been selling almost, within a couple weeks.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. Are you planning on putting your items on sale? Like for example, Thanksgiving's next week, and typically what I'll do is I'll put my whole eBay store on 10% off for that Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday until Cyber Monday. Are you planning on doing anything like that? I'm just asking. Also, Butterfly Hustles has a question. She says, Julian, do you run percentage off sales? And if so, how many times a month do you do that? And what percentage do you do?
All right, now this is. I have there's a billion different ways people do it, and everybody has a different way, and a lot of it works. Mine is completely different than probably a lot of other people's. My stuff is reasonably priced right now. Like I'm probably not the highest and not the lowest. I'm probably right in the middle. I don't run a lot of sales. I will during probably right after Thanksgiving or the day of or the day before. I'll probably run it for a little bit, but probably I would say 3 times a month, maybe. I would say 3 times a month, maybe 4 times. I only run a 10 to 15% sale, and it's usually between Thursdays and Sundays. And I run it on my entire store. I don't run it throughout the week. This weekend, I didn't run a sale, and I did really well on sales. So, but I don't do it. I don't know if maybe you run it all the time. Like eBay knows your store is always on sale. I have no idea. But that's my strategy, and I've been sticking to it for about a year. And it's been working out pretty good. So I don't run one continually. I don't drop it off a day, then go back for another week. I do it about 3 weekends out of the month. And I will definitely do it during Black Friday area. I'll probably do 3 or 4 days. And I don't run it for more than 5 days. I always do a 4-day span on that. But it's never more than 15%. I think maybe one time I did 20%, but that's it. But I run it on my whole store. I just don't pick and choose.
Yeah, it sounds like you do a lot like I do. I'm just going to do 10% off everything in the whole store, 10% off just for the weekend on, Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Cyber Monday. And then after that, it'll go back to normal. But like I said, everybody is different. I wanted to say hi to Butterfly Hustles here. We got the Cap guy is here. He's in the house. So I wanted to say hi to him. We got Bearded Veteran here. And I don't know, I wanted to say hi to Girl Hustle. And Drew from Profit Monsters is here, and Nurse Flipper. So thank you guys for hanging out. If you have a questions for Julian, go ahead and drop it in the chat. because I was going to say, it sounds like your strategy is pretty similar to mine. Sounds like you source a lot, you list a lot, and you ship a lot. So, I mean, it's that's pretty much it. Those 3 steps: source, list, ship, right? You should get a shirt made up. Right. Yeah. I like, it's just say like I ship every day or I list every day or something like that. I was thinking about getting a shirt made up that says I'd rather be at a yard sale and then have like, have like little yard sale stuff in the background. That would be funny. But anyways, so Julian, tell me, man, so how has your life been since you became a full-time reseller? And because not everybody is, and would you recommend it? It's not for everybody, but tell me how are things been? I mean, it's not like you just sit back in the lounge chair all day. Like you're hustling, you're sourcing, listing, shipping. Tell me about how it's been for you.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Like I went from there's different types of stress. I went from a decently stressful environment at my position at the police department. There was some stress going on there, but it was different types, like there's a lot going on. So when I got out of that, the stress really went to basically on myself. You had to be self-motivated. You had to go out there and hustle. You had to go make your own money, and you just have to believe in yourself. But if you know, like deep down, that you are like you're not a very self-motivated like person, that's okay. You just got to be self-aware enough that you know that, and to not do this, because you have to be self-motivated every day. Like I could literally lay in bed for weeks. Nobody would tell me to go to work, like I don't really have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to list, I don't have to do any of that. But if I want to like pay the bills and make some money and, and have a good business, like you have to, but they're so easy not to do it. So if you know yourself and you know that you're not a self-motivated human, like where, you're not going to get up and be consistent on eBay every day or something, this might part-time that my girl does it part-time, Kayla, and she loves it. She does it for fun, and it works very well for her. And she goes out there and she'll buy something, flip it. And, that'll be dinner that day, or, just something, if she wants something, she'll flip it to make money to buy that item. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you make a ton of money doing it that way. But to be full-time, just know yourself and know your boundaries. The stress came in because like I just said, I threw myself out of an airplane and was like, hey, I got to make it work. And I've been able to do it because I knew that I would, my work ethic is pretty strong. But it's been, the stress was different because, you got to get into your own taxes and your health insurance and all that stuff you got to pay. So it definitely was a different type of stress. Just know that you can do it if you want to do it, but just know yourself enough to know if you want to do something like that. But you said, I'm not sitting in no lounge chair all day. I'm hustling like, 10 to 12 to 15 hours a day.
Okay. Now, Julian, I had a question. So, first of all, we have a question from the chat I wanted to get to. Girl Hustle says, are you planning on doing any more storage auctions?
Yes, I have been looking so hard at them, and they have been like super high. I don't know how I got the one. I got it, as I said, I got it for like $304 on that one. And I have been looking every day at another one because that was so much fun. There hasn't been one. I got to stay away from ones that have a lot of furniture because I don't have a place to put it right now. So I can't put myself in a bind, getting like, a ton of furniture. So I have like criteria when I look at them, what I want to bid on. But just recently, I haven't found any, but I will buy another one 100%. There's a couple going on for about, in 15 days going up, but they fluctuate so much on that thing. Sometimes they don't or whatever. But yeah, I definitely will buy another one. That was so far the funnest thing I've done in reselling was buying that storage unit.
All right, Julian, I got a couple questions for you. First thing, I know to you it may not sound important, but to me, I think it's kind of crucial. Do you track how many items you list every day? Do you have a calendar or a board, or do you have a notebook? Do you write down and track how many items you list on your eBay store to be organized, or how does that work?
I'm not going to lie, I don't.
Okay,
no.
Well, it's whatever you're doing is working for you. But to me, I have a little app on my phone, a little calendar, and like I just type in on there. I know it sounds silly, but I'll type in like 50 items listed on eBay today, and I'll just put it on my little calendar on my phone. That way, I can keep track and kind of hold myself accountable. So I don't have a day where I'm just like, oh, you get distracted doing yard work or doing laundry, and then you kind of forget about it, So I just was asking now. Give me your top 3 tips that you have learned in your first year of being a full-time reseller. Give me the info, Julian. Tell me what's going on. Now, give me your top 3 tips.
Like if you want to go, well, what I've learned, top three that I've learned is you can't be scared to spend money. In the beginning, I was very scared to spend a certain amount of money because I didn't have, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have a lot of buying power. So you can't be scared to spend it if you know you're going to make money on it, even if it's a pretty big investment. You know, you got to learn how to let go of some money to make some money for sure. Two, you have to be very disciplined in this. If, you know, like daily discipline on, you know, like a very good schedule. It took me probably 6 months to 7 months actually to get my schedule down. I was like all over the place in the beginning, and now I've like honed in on a schedule that works for me. And I actually, on my last video, I told you that, or told YouTube that I changed it for 2 days, and I had 2 big errors, like ones that I usually don't ever make. And I had that because I changed my schedule. So once you get a schedule that works for you, I'm sticking with mine just because it works so well for me right now. If I need to change it, I will. But right now it works great. And then the third one would just be ready to work and hustle every day. Like you said, this is not a sitting down type of job. This is no way this passive. It's just one of those things that you have to work every day to make successful, for sure. But it's so important to take a step back though. Like I'm not the one to like work 7 days a week. Sundays are my days to relax. Like I think that you need a recharge day, and I take that on Sundays. I'm still active in my store, like sending things, or I might go to the thrift store for fun, but that's different than listing 40 items. You know, that's draining on your eyeballs and your brain. That can be draining. But you have to have a day where you recharge.
Okay, cool. Julian, tell everybody where they can find you at on Instagram and YouTube.
YouTube, I'm the Bearded Thrift Machine, and on Instagram, I'm also, I think, the Bearded Thrift Machine. But definitely follow me on Instagram. I put a lot of information on Instagram about what I sell and stuff, and try to give some tips. And then on YouTube also, yeah, follow me there too. Thanks.
Yeah. His Instagram is linked in the description above, and I'm going to link his YouTube channel down below in the comment section. We're going to try to get him to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and he has a lot of what sold videos and sourcing videos. So go follow Julian. Give me your final thoughts, Julian. We'll let you go, man, and appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me today.
My final thoughts is everybody just keep hustling. I know that, you know, it's Q4, so everybody go out there and see if you can make a ton of money, hustle, have fun, because there ain't I'm telling you, if you enjoy this is the funnest job I've ever had in my life. I don't really like Saturday. I went to yard sales and relaxed and listed some items. Super fun. So have fun with it, and don't, you know, it is a job, but this is like the funnest job, again, I've ever had in my life. So just have fun with it. But just know that it is, if you're going full time, it is a job. So you have to treat it like one. And it's definitely not one you can sit back and make money at. You have to hustle every day. But it is super, super fun.
Yeah. I know it could be a chore of you having to test all those Nintendo Wiis and make sure they work, right?
Yeah. If you think about it, like, you know, it's going from what I came from to this, it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't really, it's not. Like you said, it's not, I can listen to music, I can do whatever I want and test these Wiis and not really be in a rush. You know, just take it at your own pace. And, but it is, you know, it is a hustle, but you don't have to really like kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I have goals. Well, I have 10 hours, 12 hours to meet those goals. So, you know what I'm saying? You can really, don't be so hard on oneself to destroy yourself, you know, for 5 days straight. Just take it at your own pace, have fun with it, but know that if you want to go full time, you got to hustle, but you can get through that. Like you can really put some work in it, and you have to like let go of distractions. Like I had to delete TikTok off my phone for like 3 weeks because that is a mind blowing, just like 3 hours of going into abyss of TikTok. So like, if you know something distracts you, just don't do it. Like I was like, I'm done with that place. So, but distractions will kill you, but you can get a lot done in, you know, 8 to 10 hours. Like you can list 40 items, you know, pretty decently.
Got it. All right. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me, man. And you have a good weekend. And Julian, man, if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, you have a great Thanksgiving. Okay.
You too. Thank you for everybody for being here.
Yep. All right, guys, go ahead and follow the Bearded Thrift Machine on YouTube and Instagram. I'll drop his link down below, and you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, guys.